What is up, my broviaries? Welcome back to PlaycrastiNation. Population 148. Today is a very, very big day for Pokemon Sun and Moon news. A new trailer dropped this morning. I will leave a link in the description down below so that you can watch it, or you can watch it along with me right up here-ish. But there's so much to cover that I'm going to get basically straight into it. I'm not going to do anything stupid like jump on my bed like last time. Okay, maybe just once before the video starts. Alright, now that I got that out of my system, let's go ahead and start with this trailer. So we see here, of course, we start with Pikachu, as we always do. The first thing that we're going to see in this new trailer is that new discoveries in Alola have been made, the Alola region. We have some new Pokemon to meet. One of them I'm really excited for. So let's go ahead and get started. The first Pokemon that we see in this trailer is... This is where I get a little confused. I think they're literally saying his name is type space null, which is very confusing to me. I could see the name, I could see null as being a name. Not really, that's more of a nickname. But his name is literally type null. He is the normal type, he has the ability Battle Armor. It's like real confusing because if you look at this Pokemon right here, I'm using my mouse pointer. If you look at this Pokemon, he is literally like a conglomeration of like not Pokemon we know, but of so many different things. Like his head and the little headpiece coming off it look like they're one thing. His like neck collar kind of looks like it's related with that as well. His body and its back, like his hind legs look related. His tail is like a fish, and then he has like arms like a freaking spiky grass bird. So I have no idea what this is. I mean, obviously it's a new Pokemon. One thing I want to start doing is you can actually like go, I'm not gonna, maybe I can show you guys this if I can figure out how to edit fancily, but you can actually go onto the Pokemon.com website, excuse me, if I could pull that up, and it'll actually tell you different things about the Pokemon if you pull them up. So if we actually click on type null, it's literally his name, category is synthetic Pokemon. Synthetic in terms of like manufacturing in real life literally means something that is made. So this could actually be a Pokemon that's actually not natural in the wild. It could be a man-made Pokemon, which would explain the weird conglomeration of parts. And then just to read a little bit about the Pokemon, we have a little description. It says, this Pokemon wearing a mask has been dubbed null, meaning nothing. The shapes of its front and hind legs are clearly different. The reason is that type null was constructed to synthesize the strength of various Pokemon, enabling it to adapt to any situation. The mask fitted to type null's head is a piece of equipment designed to control its latent powers. It's extremely heavy, and so it also serves to hinder type null's agility, so it's going to be a slow Pokemon. To complete a certain mission, there was a need of a Pokemon powerful enough to rival those Pokemon often spoken of in mythology. So I don't know if we're seeing a legendary Pokemon right here. It certainly sounds like it was. I mean, a lot of these legendaries that we hear about, you know, whether it's Mewtwo or something, a lot of them were created by humans and then they were made too powerful. So I don't know if this is another situation. He's 265.7 pounds, which is like... This is going to be a heavy Pokemon, and like I explained there, we can kind of see all of its different features. And I guess it was made that way to adapt to different situations. Maybe it's a good swimmer because it has the tail. I don't really know what the claws are probably for attacking. The hind legs are for running, even though we know it's not going to be a very fast Pokemon. Not super big on the name, type null. I think it's... I'm going to need to see the game. I'm sure there's a I mean, the description on Pokemon.com kind of summarized that null means nothing, meaning he has no type. He is so many different things, and this is, because it's a man-made Pokemon, it wouldn't have a cry, so this is the name given to it by humans. I just wish they could have come up with something a little more clever and catchy than type null, meaning even though it is the normal type we see, maybe, I don't know. It's a weird looking Pokemon. It's interesting that the thing's actually a mask on it. I wonder if we'll ever see its actual, you can see there's looks like a tri-attack from it, so I wonder if we'll ever actually see its actual face. I imagine we will at some point, but I don't know. It sounds like this could be some guy that's integral to the storyline of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is going to be interesting to see. The next Pokemon that we see in this trailer is one that I am ridiculously excited for, one that will absolutely be on my Pokemon Sun and Moon team. I'm waiting a little bit longer to make one of those who's going to be on my Sun and Moon team videos, just because they're going to release a lot more Pokemon. So I want to see a couple more before I really make my team for sure. But this I can promise you, unfortunately, it's probably not going to be available till late game. However, this is going to be a Pokemon that I have on my team, and his name is Jangmo, I believe is how it's. I'm very bad at Hawaiian pronunciations, but I believe the pronunciation is Jangmo. It is a dragon type with the ability bulletproof and soundproof, not both. That would be broken. It's got a little heart on its head. It's beautiful. It's a dragon type. We can assume, I would say safely, that this is the Dratini, Bagon, Axew, whatever you want to call it, the cute little dragon Pokemon of this generation that is eventually going to evolve into something awesome, I would imagine, just based on what it looks like right now. And considering a lot of, like, Haxorus was kind of a little bit like a Tyrannosaurus Rex kind of Pokemon, I'm thinking this is going to end up being, when it reaches final evolution, be a Stegosaurus looking Pokemon, just not only from the tail, but from the little scales that are kind of on its back. It looks like they're eventually going to raise up and probably provide some sort of armor. But let's go to Pokemon.com and read a little bit about this. Jangmo is the scaly Pokemon, type Dragon. Height 2 feet exactly, 65.5 pounds, that's perfect. Jangmo has the pride of a warrior, although it remains humble about its capabilities. In its pursuit to become stronger, it never neglects its training. Because Jangmo uses the scales on its head for both offense and defense, it never turns back to its back to its enemies. Many trainers see this behavior and take it as proof that Jangmo is a valiant Pokemon. Jangmo gather in harsh locales like canyons where no other people or Pokemon are around to live together as they train. So I don't know if that last line is a hint about, I mean, based on where we see him in this trailer, it looks like canyon walls around him, so I'm guessing there's going to be a canyon of some sort on one of these islands, and that's where we're going to find Jangmo. If I had a map of the Alola region, I would pull it up right now and kind of try to find where I think they're going to be. But as Pokemon usually does, I'm going to guess this is going to be a later game find. I think Dratinis you couldn't catch till, what, Safari Zone, which was like 5th gym. Axew was in the island where you had to have Surf to get to, which I believe was after like 5th or 6th gym. To get a Bagon was not till like the end of the game after you reach Pacific Log Town. You gotta sail on those weird currents. Like, typically these cute dragon Pokemon that end up very powerful cannot be gotten until late game, but this is one that I'm going to search long and hard for because I really, really, really would love a Jangmo on the team. Probably I'm pretty partial to Alolan Marowak, but of the new Alolan Pokemon, this might be the one that I'm most excited for that I've seen so far. I just think the design, it's what I expect from like old Pokemon. It looks like how they used to design Pokemon, and I really like that about it. Okay, moving on in the trailer, we are going to, first of all, watch Jangmo be adorable, but like also menacing at the same time. Something interesting we see here is he like smacks Wishy-Washy, the school form, and we see him run away. So he probably just used Dragon Tail and Wishy-Washy ran. That's actually probably what it is. I was gonna say, I don't know if we were seeing maybe if you do enough damage to Wishy-Washy school form, it goes back to solo form, but that doesn't really make sense, so I think we actually just saw Dragon Tail there and forced him out of battle. Anyway, next on the trailer, we have Raticate. We saw last time the Alolan Rattata, and I was pretty excited about it. I thought it was a very good change to traditional Rattata. This time we see Alolan Raticate, confirming my theory. It's not really a theory, it's just a little speculation last time, that if we see a traditional basic Pokemon have an Alolan form, I imagine we will see its evolutions have an Alolan form. We haven't gotten confirmation with, who's the other primary Pokemon that we had gotten confirmation that we saw in Alolan form that we didn't. I can't remember. My brain is killing me. Anyway, we see here, excuse me, that Raticate does in fact get an Alolan form, and as excited as I was about Alolan Rattata, I really just don't like the design of this Pokemon. He looks like he has the ability Gluttony, which makes a lot of sense. But also, he just looks like, have you ever seen, I've been making a lot of SpongeBob references lately in my videos. Have you seen the episode where like Sandy goes into hibernation and she's like preparing, she's like stocking up on nuts and stuff, and she gets like 700 pounds overweight? He just reminds me of that. And I was really hoping they would take the Kadabra Alakazam route with Rattata and Raticate, because they gave Rattata this lovely little mustache. I was hoping Raticate would have just a glorious Fu Manchu. However, instead they opted to go for the cheeks the size of bowling balls instead. So it's an interesting design choice. Let's check on Pokemon.com and see what they have to say about Alolan. We can read a little bit about Alolan Rattata and Alolan Raticate. Mouse Pokemon. It says Alolan Rattata's form changed as a result of their battle for territory with Yungoos. So apparently, I guess they were being overrun by Yungoos, and that caused this genetic mutation within Rattata. I really like that about this game, about these different forms. It really hits on kind of like we see in like actual nature of animals adapting to their surroundings, and I think that's really cool. Unlike ordinary Rattata, urban areas are Alolan Rattata's main habitat. They are nocturnal and live in nests of several dozen. Alolan Raticates serve as their bosses. So, big man. Yo. Okay. If they're actually going for like Alolan Raticate is the boss, and it's like a Godfather kind of thing with the chubby cheeks, you might have won me back, Nintendo. You may have just won me back. Anyway, as a countermeasure to the exploding Rattata population of the Alola region, Yungoos were imported and released. To better avoid Yungoos, Rattata changed their preferred environments and circadian rhythms, so they became nocturnal, which is crazy. These adaptations to their new environment led to a changed form. Alolan Rattata have an excellent capacity for sniffing out delicious fresh foods in Alola. They pay no attention to foods that aren't fresh. If food's not fresh, get it on out of here. So that's a little bit about Alolan Rattata. Now let's read about the boss, which is Alolan Raticate. Still the mouse Pokemon, dark normal type. Same abilities as Alolan Rattata. Because urban areas are their main habitat, their diet is higher in calories than ordinary Raticate. As a result, they've become hefty. I love that description. Alolan Raticate prefer to eat only fresh fruits and high-class ingredients. There are rumors that a certain top-notch restaurant takes advantage of Alolan Raticate's taste buds by bringing it along when choosing ingredients to buy and having it taste test new dishes. So we got a little Ratatouille kind of thing here. That's probably what I'm going to name Eradicate, Alolan Raticate, if I ever use one, is Ratatouille, because it seems like that's what they're going for here. Alolan Raticate continually stockpile huge amounts of food in their nest. They mostly prefer to send out Alolan Rattata to go gather food, while they themselves stay home in their nest and just eat. They are very lazy, it seems like. Alolan Raticate is a totem Pokemon of the trial that takes place in Verdant Cavern on Mele Mele Island in Pokemon Moon. Okay, we'll get into that in just a second. There's a little asterisk next to it, but that's a little information, but that's for later in the trailer. We'll talk about it. Anyway, Alolan Raticate, not thrilled about the design. However, if it is a subtle reference to Godfather, I think I could get over it. So we're gonna go ahead and click play and continue on with the trailer a little bit further and see what else this trailer has in store for us. I mean, I already know, but we're gonna see him attack freaking Mimikyu. Okay. This is something we had kind of speculated about that we're now getting confirmation, but it's a little bit different than I expected. So it says Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are set 12 hours apart. Now, I guess this means, what I'm confused about is there still going to be a day-night cycle? And are they just flip-flop? So in Pokemon Moon, if you're playing during the day, is it all nighttime? And then if you play at night, it's daytime? And in Pokemon Sun, that's what I'm confused about. It says they're set 12 hours apart. Does that mean no day-night cycle? Because that's weird to me if they would get rid of the day-night cycle again. I thought that was one of like the biggest, after going from 2nd gen to 3rd gen, I thought that was one of the biggest faux pas that GameFreak has ever done, is get rid of the day-night cycle. And we kind of had speculated that time of day was going to be an important aspect of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. We can kind of imagine that I can see it playing a part in evolution. Some Pokemon are only going to evolve. I guess this means like if there's no day-night cycle in Pokemon Sun, can you only get Espeon? And Pokemon Moon, can you only get Umbreon? Don't know. That's going to be something we're going to have to see a little bit more Just because they're set 12 hours apart, though, I guess that means we've only seen stuff from Pokemon Sun because all the trailers have been sunny mostly. So I don't know if they're getting rid of the day-night cycle. Certainly hope not. I think that would be bad. I'll leave it at that. However, we know that the time of day, sun and moon, and it's the name of the game, is going to play a big part in the different times, as you can see, or not just how the game looks, but also in certain aspects. So as we can see here, certain events are going to play out differently. So as we see here on the left, we see, this is the trailer we saw before. That is a Totem Gumshoes. It is the Totem Challenge for Melee Island, they said. In Pokemon Sun, it's going to be a Gumshoes. In Pokemon Moon, however, we see it's actually going to be Eradicate instead. You got a normal type versus a dark type. Or dark normal, I suppose. So that's interesting that the different games are going to have different Totem challenges. Because of, I don't know if it's just because of when they're set or because of the game itself, but I imagine we're also going to see exclusives done in this way. I imagine Pokemon Moon is going to have a lot more dark types. Or Pokemon Sun, you see, I would say fire types, but Soleo is not a fire type, so I don't know. We'll have to see what kind of exclusives Pokemon Sun is going to get, but there's definitely going to be, as there are in every Pokemon game, there's going to be differences between the versions. Certain events are going to be playing out differently. As an example here, we can see the Totem Challenge being different. Next, and this is kind of interesting, introducing the Aether? I think that's correct. Aether Foundation. I believe they actually have a little bit about these guys on... No, I don't care about the new Pokemon. We've already looked at all the 4 new Pokemon. What I care about is, do you have information? Pokemon.com. Please tell me that you... Let's type in Pokemon.com. Please tell me you have some information about... Okay, you have a little bit. Do you have information about Aether? Okay. You have... details about the Aether Foundation. So all they can tell us is that the Aether Foundation works in the Alola region. The Foundation's goal is to care for Pokemon that have been hurt. I doubt this is like a replacement for like Nurse Joyce. I don't think Pokemon Centers are gone, but this is a good guy team, if you will. We're so used to seeing the Team Rockets, the Team Skulls, the Team Plasmas, the Galactics, the whatever, Magma, Aqua. We're used to seeing evil teams. It's very rare that we see good teams, if you will. We see like the Pokemon Rangers and stuff, but this is one of the first times we're really seeing a good guys team, which is cool, unless they end up being like double agents that are actually, could be like a Team Galactic or Team Plasma kind of thing, where they're preaching we want to free and cure and help all Pokemon, but actually they're dastardly trying to take over the world. So I don't know if this is, these guys could actually be bad guys, but they look nice enough. It says the Aether Foundation has constructed an artificial island called Aether Paradise. There, they not only provide shelter for Pokemon, but also conduct various research projects. It seems that the main character will also be able to visit Aether Paradise during the adventure. So we're going to get to go to their man-made island. Again, man-made makes me think that these are the people responsible, the scientists, whatever you want to call them, responsible for Type Null, the Pokemon. I'm going to go ahead and just guess that is where Type Null came from. These guys do Pokemon research, it says. I'm guessing one of those research projects was creating their own Pokemon who was Type Null. Okay, so we get a little bit more information about each of the members here. The first of which is Lusamine, who is Aether's glamorous president. She says, "Welcome to Aether Paradise, the Aether Foundation's own private island. Ho ho! I will be like a mother to all of those poor Pokemon and shower them with love." So again, seems pretty spot on so far. She seems like a good girl. According to Pokemon.com, it just says that she functions as Aether Foundation's president, which we see here. Next in the trailer, we have more. Even Pokemon from distant worlds far from the Alola region are worthy of my love. So she's the president, and she seems like she's pretty into it. Again, though, anytime I see the word foundation at the end of something and they do research, it always kind of sketches me out. Then I saw this guy and I'm like, these guys are definitely evil. This is definitely a dystopian kind of thing. Okay, so his name is Faba. Faba, he says, just as the name suggests, Aether Paradise is a veritable paradise for Pokemon that floats far out in the sea surrounding Alola. It is an artificial island made entirely by human technology for the protecting of Pokemon. And we see here he is, excuse me, he's Aether's branch chief. And what Pokemon.com says about him is that the Aether Foundation's branch chief sports green sunglasses. They're his signature accessory. Good to know. He seems very proud of his position as branch chief. Okay, so not too much about him. Next, we're going to learn about Wiki. She is the assistant branch chief. She's Baba, what is it, Jabba the Hutt, what was his name? Faba's assistant. We keep Pokemon that have been targeted by Team Skull here. And we also try to support Pokemon that need a little extra protection, which is nice. According to the Pokemon thing, the assistant branch chief of Aether Paradise has a caring personality, so she's loved by all Aether Foundation employees. And then finally, we have a little blurb about Aether Foundation employees on Pokemon.com that says the employees of the Aether Foundation shelter and care for Pokemon. Their uniforms appear to depend on which division they belong to. So there's a ranking system again. All of this is screaming. I don't know if you've read the book Brave New World. All of this is screaming Brave New World to me. Like, it seems too good to be true. It's so rare that we see good guys that just want to care for Pokemon, except for us, of course. But this is a little sketchy. For now, we're going to assume that these are good guys, but I think we're going to find out something else in the future. Here's the employees, and as you can see here, we've got some Team Skull people trying to steal a Slowpoke. They said they're going to sell it, but and then you got the Aether trying to get it back from. So maybe they're good guys. It could just be the narcissist, that's not the right word, pessimist in me that is assuming the worst of them. Maybe they're good people after all. However, I am, like I said, I'm hard to trust, so I'm hard to gain trust from, so I'll need to see some more good deeds from these guys before I totally give them a pass. But next we see Team Skull's Enforcer, which is Gladian. I think we've already seen the boss of Team Skull, so this is going to be obviously a higher rank than just the Grunts. Probably like, trying to think for Team Plasma, like obviously Ghetsis was the master behind it all. Maybe Team Galactic is a better. You had Cyrus, who was the boss, and maybe this is like a Proton. No, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like Pokemon Heart Gold. Well, anyway, it's the middleman. This is Gladian. He says, "Battle me, it won't take no for an answer." He's got like an alfalfa hair sticking up. All these battles enter by doing some sort of Z-move position, which I wonder if that tells you if you can memorize the Z-move positions. I don't know if that means you can memorize what kind of Pokemon they're going to have. Like if you're like, oh, this is the Dark-type Z-move, I know you're going to have a Dark-type Pokemon, maybe. That's something we'll find out later. Continuing on with right here, it says we can search the Alola region for Zygarde cells and cores. So this is where I need to be a little bit honest that I have never played Pokemon X and Y. So my knowledge about Zygarde and his lore, whatever you want to call it, is lacking. So this, obviously I know he's a legendary as far as XYZ goes. There was no Z, but as far as X and Y go, Zygarde was the legendary. He has different forms. Like, I don't know a lot about him, and I feel bad. I feel like for a video that's supposed to be educational, I'm going to be asking you guys to educate me a little bit more about Zygarde. But what we see here is you get to search the Alola region for Zygarde cells and cores. I've made up my mind. I'll entrust this important item to you. He's going to give us a Zygarde core, or Zygarde Cube, sorry. And so when you have the cube, you can actually use that cube. Freaking, it sounds like I'm talking about like Transformers, the Allspark. But once you have Zygarde's Cube, as you can see here, we see a little flickering. On the ground right here. And when you go up to it, you can actually press A on it and find that a strange creature was sucked into the Zygarde Cube. So this is a Zygarde cell, I'm assuming. And so it looks like this is, I'm sure it's going to serve a greater purpose in the grand scheme of things in the game, but it looks like for one of the first times Pokemon is putting hidden items, collectibles if you will, in their games beyond just find these Pokeballs that are scattered around and you'll get a potion from them or a Great Ball or whatever. It looks like they're actually putting a collectible that probably means something. It reminds me of kind of like finding the glyphs in Assassin's Creed where, yeah, you're just searching for them to collect them, but then when you put them all together, you get something interesting. So I think we're going to see a similar mechanic here. It's cool to see them kind of adopting a mechanic they've not really used much in the past as far as collecting hidden items go. And I don't know if they're all going to be like This one, there's a pretty clear little jutting out there, and it obviously says it shows A over it when you're over it, so it makes it kind of easy to find. I don't know if they're all gonna be that hard to find or what, but let's continue on. So, but you are gonna get to search for Zygarde cells and cores as you go, and so I don't know if it's gonna lead to. It seems like this game has a lot of connections with X and Y from what I've heard, and so I know a lot of people are speculating that maybe we'll see part of the Kalos region again. I'm not so sure. I need to play X and Y in the first place so I can understand what the heck everyone's talking about. Anyway, now we can move on to something that I do know what the heck I'm talking about, and that is that Pokemon Snap is making a return to Pokemon. I've been asking for a freaking remake of Pokemon Snap, or at least a sequel for like 10 years now, 15 years, however long that game has been out. It looks like we're finally getting at least in mini-game form. So as you can see, taking photos is a snap with the Poke Finder. In this game, you get something called the Poke Finder. It's this lovely little red thing right here that looks like I think that's actually a Rotom Pokedex. It looks like the Pokedex with Rotom, but you fire up the Poke Finder and you can take pictures of Pokemon. It's just like it was back in, it's definitely the Rotom Pokedex, by the way. It's just like it was back in Pokemon Snap when you come back from your journey and Professor Oak's like, which do you want to show off? You can only pick 6 of them. And so here it looks like there was a 6, as you can see up here, every time you take a picture that number goes down. So it looks like you get to take 6 pictures at a time. I don't know if you can take these anywhere or if there's specific spots, like as we see here, there's a specific little crack here where you can take a picture of that Pikachu. And then you can obviously get different poses, and then you can post them online, and I guess people can judge your, like Facebook, it's like a social media, they can judge your Pokemon, they can thumbs it up if they want to. Here we see a Dragonite, which, this is what really reminds me of Pokemon Snap, is like the trying to get the perfect shot as things are moving, so I hope we see some cool, it's going to be a cool little mini game at the very least. And still, please remake Pokemon Snap if you could. Bring it into the 21st century, I would be so happy. Okay. Finally, the final little couple seconds of this trailer, we see there's a mysterious threat called the Ultra Beasts, and we're going to meet one of them today. The first Ultra Beast that we see is called UB01. UB obviously short for Ultra Beasts. It's not going to tell us much about them. They literally give us like 2 seconds of information about UB01. Because it says Ultra Beasts plural, we can assume that there is a UB01, UB02, UB03. I'm guessing it's going to be a triumvirate, just like the birds, the cloud gods, the dogs, the whatever. I'm guessing it's going to come in 3s like they traditionally do, the Virizion, Cobalion, Forest Guards, whatever those ones are called. It seems like this is going to be our we didn't even get a typing, which is interesting. But it seems like this is going to be our triumvirate. I can't think of the real word. But according to Pokemon.com, we do learn a little bit about the Ultra Beasts. It says, in the Alola region, rumors are flying about mysterious creatures known as Ultra Beasts. These beasts possess mighty powers and could pose a threat to humans and Pokemon, so they are feared. It appears that the Aether Foundation is also conducting research on these Ultra Beasts. According to rumor, multiple Ultra Beasts exist, each of them called by a code name. So UB01 is a code name. I don't know if we'll ever actually, maybe once you capture it, you'll find out its actual name, because again, just like Type Null, UB01 is where we got punctuation in Pokemon names. It's not what I'm looking for in my Pokemon name game, whatever you want to call it. It's like when I was like 6 and played, and I would nickname it, I'd be like, you're Eradicate 7, so that I can tell you apart from my other ones. Like, it's not what I look for. Numbers in Pokemon, not digging it. But if it's just a code name, just to look at it and say this is UB01, that's okay, as long as we get an actual name eventually. Something interesting about UB01 that Pokemon.com says. It says UB01's body is comprised of a glass-like substance. However, it's constantly changing shapes, never settling on one. So it's like it looks like a jellyfish, but it's also like a freaking it's like Terminator 2, the guy that like just like morphs into different things. That's creepy. That's very creepy. It also says that while evidence of something like a survival instinct can be observed in UB01, no one knows whether it has a will of its own or any emotion. It's said that for some reason its movements resemble those of a young girl, which is really creepy, but you can like When I read that and then watched the trailer, it's like you can kind of see it here. It's very like it's a swaying motion. So I imagine there's going to be some lore behind these things. But honestly, I don't even know where to go with them. It looks cool at the very least. It looks like a cool Pokemon, and it for a legendary it maybe is a little upsetting, but I don't know if it's gonna again, Pokemon Sun and Moon has been all about forms, and so now we have a shape-shifting Pokemon that we can maybe see different forms for as well, and maybe that's why they don't show a type on online on the Pokemon.com, and they also don't even show a type on this trailer. So could have different forms, could have different types. That'd be pretty cool. Again, Pokemon Sun and Moon are both available November 18th, 2016. I'm excited for them. That's going to be the end of this trailer analysis. I think I covered everything. There is one more thing. In the Japanese trailer, we saw a screenshot of what appears to be a new Pokemon that they didn't actually give its own slide, but I guess they messed up in the Japanese trailer and forgot to cut it out. I will put a picture of it right here. It appears to be the evolution of Cutiefly, from what I can tell. It looks like what I would expect to be the evolution of Cutiefly, and it still looks pretty cute, but I don't think I'm going to be putting it on my team. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this trailer analysis, this episode, whatever you want to call it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you're excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon, make sure to show some support down below and show some support to the Pokemon channel. Again, link to their trailers in the bottom. Go give it a like. I'm really excited. This is, again, after the last trailer, which I wasn't super hyped for, this is one that I'm pretty darn hyped for. We're learning a lot about in-game mechanics, and that's what I want to see from Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe to become a citizen of PlaycrastiNation today. Join the flock of Baroviaries, and I will see you guys next time for some more Pokemon, or not.